Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again, and this time this is going to be a fun little discussion over here about people who really don't know how to roll echoes in Wuwa. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, echo building is one of the core elements of Wuthering Waves, right? It's how you gear your characters, get them ready for all sorts of different content, and of course, get them ready for the end game. And a lot of people view a good set of echoes as one of the most mandatory things required for, well, feeling happy with your account. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to do a bit of a case study about an individual that has no idea what the fuck they're doing. Because when you hear about the story, and you hear about the recounts, and when you hear the bitching and the moaning being done by none other than Ryuku Sensei over here, who's seen bitching and moaning about his echoes on Twitter, bitching and moaning about echoes on a YouTube video, and then bitching and moaning a third time on another YouTube video. I have never seen in 2026, 2 years after Wuwa releases, somebody that has this much of an issue with echoes and character building. Like, I just have never seen this before. And so what we're going to be doing today is going through his account over here and talking about how you as an individual can avoid what is going on. Because once you see the details surrounding why this guy is mad, you're probably going to have a couple of questions. Namely, how the fuck did he do this? So let's go ahead. Let's break it all down, and let's see the summary first. After 45 days of doing the nest and farming the tacit field, trying to build my Lucilla, this is the best I can do. This guy is basically saying he has spent 45 plus days building his Lucilla, and she's still not done yet. And these are his pieces. Double crit over here, basic attack, pretty mid-low rolls, right? Crit damage, basic ER, missing double crit, not that good. And then on this piece over here, double crit ER, not good for Lucilla because she doesn't like ER. And then we're missing crit damage over here, and it's 3 ER rolls, not very good. And then this is the last piece, right? We're missing crit damage. And so this dude is basically saying, after 45 days, this is somehow all he has. Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you. In actuality, how many echoes 48 is. This guy is basically saying this. He has gone through and via the tacit Discord nest, where there's 41 motherfuckers spawning, or sorry, 48, 48, 24. So he's killing 100 and like fucking 6 mobs a day, or some shit like that. 110 mobs a day via all these tacit Discord nests, and then is proceeding to do tacit suppression, right? You know how many echoes you get from this, bro? If you do a 120 claim 2 times a day, you get about 16 echoes. You get 4 echoes every time you spend 60. 4 times fucking 4, bro, is 16. So he's getting 16 echoes a day, 10 free a week. Bro, this guy is basically saying he rolled through almost like... Sorry, let me just do the math here real fast. This shit is getting complicated, bro. Hey, let's do the math real fast. Bro, we need a fucking visual aid to see how many echoes this bitch rolled. Okay, so first and foremost, right? We got tacits. We got tacit fields, right? Right? 8 a day. That looks like 8 a day, right? Then you got the nightmare nests. And that's going to be 110 mobs a day. Bro, with like some basic drop rates and like the guarantee, you're guaranteed like a minimum of like, what, 20 echoes from that? I assume? You'll get at least like 20 echoes at like a rough, let's just use roughly a 20, right? So you're getting 28 echoes a day times 45 equals, bro, like that's like fucking 1260. Sure, right? Maybe he's only getting 10 applicable ones from the tacit field, right? Hey, let's say we cross that out and it's 10 instead. Bro, at 18 times 45, it's still fucking 810. And now let's just be generous. Let's say 50% of those, right? Are 50% of them are the wrong set. You still have 405, motherfucker. Assuming you count that number of echoes in half. Going by some rough estimates, right? Oh, we also got to add the fact you got 10 targeted merges a week. How many weeks is this? This is, what, 6 weeks? So you add another 60 from targeted merging the set. And then you just select Wishes of Quiet Snowfall. So you're probably beginning to see what's going on over here, right? We're probably at around 465 echoes at like a rough minimum. Somewhere around those lines. 465. And this guy is telling you he still doesn't have double crit on most of the pieces. Apparently going through 400 of them. But guys, that's unbelievable. That doesn't make sense. That's confusing as hell and doesn't actually work. Because listen to this. After 45 days of doing the nest and farming the task field trying to build my Lucilla, this is the best I can do. I'm tired, boss. I swear to fucking God, if anyone comes in with an actually about the set, your ass is getting muted. That's because this set has been available since 3.3, which is in like fucking April. So like this dude is like out here trying to grind a set from 3 months ago. And yeah, okay. But read this. Can't get enough crit damage main stats if Aleph 1 on the right set. Settle for crit rate instead. I ain't wasting main stat modifiers. I don't have enough of them as is. So this is the end result. This guy basically has more echoes he can roll on, but he's intentionally not using his modifiers because he's saving them for somebody else. This dude's basically saying, I'm refusing to use the thing that lets me roll echoes more, and then I'm gonna say how little echoes I have to roll. Do you know why these devs put this in the game, Ryuku-sensei? It's because we used to have this feature. You might remember this. You're an old guy. Remember this feature that gave you an on-set 3 cost that matched the set you wanted. They removed these and then added modifiers instead so you would use them. This is like you saving up one of these, choosing not to use it, and you still have it now, then bitching and moaning that you didn't have echoes to roll before. Man, it's so hard to get the Abyss. It's so hard to get the Spectro Damage 3 cost. Use the box. I don't want to. I'm not going to waste my box on this. But I'm going to complain about how hard it is to roll echoes, but I'm not going to use the box. That's what you sound like, you fucking moron, bro. Because how do you bitch and moan about how slow it is to build your units, and then you're just intentionally admitting to not using the tools that the devs give you to build the fucking units? Let me instead inform every single player here a tactic that they should be using to not end up in this ridiculous, goofy-ass situation. It's this simple. Modifiers are your greatest benefit possible to building a new unit. And modifiers, if you need to build a new unit, should be spent to build them. Because that's what they're there for. Because this is what you do. You go over to your Echo Management page, right? And you recognize, man, there are some sets over here that I really need to prioritize, right? There are some sets over here that I would like to use to build some future units. Namely, Heart of Evil's Purge for Qing Zhao and Lamp of Nether Road for Jing Ran. And so this is what I do. I enable the plan and then I edit it to lock everything. I don't care if it's a fucking defense forecast. I want it locked and I don't want it away from my account so that, well, when it comes to building the new character, I use this shit, and then let's just say, God forbid, right? Let's look for something to modify. Okay, I want to get a... Oh. I want this to turn into crit damage. And then I go for it. And now I can speed up my farming, and I can roll my echoes. But this guy is just saying, these are too... I'm building a new character, but these are too valuable to use. This is the same dude that basically stores in an RPG every single consumable ever, never uses them, and then ends the game with a full inventory of consumables. And then bitches and moans about how there was never an opportunity to use items in his playthrough. He's intentionally avoiding the tactics the developers have put in to streamline this process. And they have done so much since the release of this game to give people so many more resources to streamline the building. And people are at the point where building characters can literally occur in like 1 to 3 days because of all of the amazing things and the quality of life that we've gotten. And this dude is still on the front lines bitching and moaning about everything regarding the ecosystem when he's self-admitting he won't use the tools Kuro's giving him. And he's complaining about how long it takes, about how hard it is, about how absurdly bad his RNG is, while intentionally not using the things that limit his RNG. Because this is how you know he's getting called out. Look how mad he's getting. 45 days of farming with only 2 double crits. Do a live stream rolling 30 echoes unedited, uncut, instead of just posting and saying after 45 days. Because nobody believes this is possible. Bro, I've done that several times before. Shut your bitch ass up. He's mad. Bro, he's like literally angry. He's steaming, bro. He's out here cussing people out on Twitter because they think his claim of 45 days for one unit to have a shit build like this is unreasonable because nobody in God's green earth has spent that long on Twitter. Nobody is putting down what he's selling. Bro, he's got basically almost as many comments as replies. Because they think he's like on crack. They think he's stupid. They think he like doesn't know how to like where the echo rolling button is. Dude, I view this and I feel like he's a geriatric old man that like shit himself getting coffee this morning. Like that's the vibe that I get from somebody like yelling at the clouds like this. But don't worry. There's more. Weird, my characters take 1 week at most. That's only if they're releasing a new set. If it's an old set, it will already be done when the character is released. Pre-farmed. This guy's happy, right? Listen to this. Listen to this response over here. Dude, no offense to you specifically, but everyone who says it only takes me X days or weeks need to understand. It's fucking random. There's literally zero way to guarantee anything. It took me at least 2 months to get a Sentry for Carlotta with the right main stat, just CR and CD. And that's what farming that bitch every day. It's because he won't use modifiers. You get what's going on, right? This guy is saying it took him 2 months to get a double crit Sentry for his Carlotta. Have you ever heard of anybody take that long to get a piece before? 260 days? 60 fucking days for a double crit forecast. How? People read what he's saying and they don't believe him. They don't believe him. They think he's lying because this. How do you take that long? Are you rolling one piece every 2 days? That's what people think because it's so unrealistic. And guys, as like an additional follow-up over here, X got blocked after being told to shut your bitch ass up because he just asked the dude to prove that somebody can have luck this bad because his post is so unbelievable. Bro, your post is so unbelievable. Nobody would have that after 45 days. He's just asking you to prove it and you got mad at him. You crashed out. All right, relax, Fossil OG-san. Why weigh your echo so bad, man? RNG substats, equipment systems, and games that require you to keep building character after character on a roughly 3-week to 6-week schedule with zero substantial RNG mitigators for the substats absolutely fucking suck ass. Bitch, I built my Yang Yang in 2 days. Shut up, you old fucking freak. Dude, like what? Bro, what is your issue? How are you so bad at rolling echoes? Nobody else has this problem. Nobody else has this problem, bro. Like there's no motion here. Because right now, this gives me the vibes of this old man yelling at clouds. But he's been doing this since 2 weeks ago. So maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe this is time for me to sober up. Maybe I'm out of touch. Chat, viewers, answer this question for me in the comment section below. Does it take you 2 months to get a double crit forecast? After 45 days of you farming a character, would yours look like this? Do you think that it's a good idea to not use your modifiers when you're building a new unit because they're a waste? I'd like to know, because I just want to know who else is struggling as much as this guy. Maybe it's a more commonplace problem than I thought. I'm simply just viewing the lack of support that this guy is getting as a sign, but maybe there are more of you weirdos out there and I'm just not aware. Let me know in the comments below. Peace out.